We have a heat wave in Canada right now, so everything's a little crazy and a little hot. Ben's not doing so well. Oh, poor boy, he's so toasty. But here we are. The show must go on. I am really excited about today's video because this is the first video in a brand new series called I Can Totally Make That. Where I find something on the internet that I'm like, I really want that, but it's either you can't buy it, someone else made it, it's not necessarily in my price range, or you can buy it but it's fast fashion. And this is the first of a few videos to come out like this. I have a few things I want to make based on things I've seen. But today we're going to be making a peasant sleeve bustier inspired by this photo right here. I saw it and was like, oh my goodness, I really want this. And someone underneath was like, where can I buy it? And I was like, I think I could totally make that. And thus the series was born. So we're going to be doing this beautiful flower print, the same flower print I used on my mom's skirt. I have so much of this. This is going to be another project in the future that I'm very excited about. But next spring, so you got a ways to wait for that one. But it's so soft and it's so pretty, so I'm gonna use this for the bustier. And then my mom had this white chiffon straps off her wedding dress that she hated, and so they're like already hemmed. So if I can get maybe the ends hemmed, that would be nice. It will be this bustier pattern right here with Vicky Sews. I'm going to be, instead of the stiff sleeves that they seem to have here, I'm gonna try with chiffon. She says maybe don't do it with chiffon, but you know what? I'm a daring crafter, and this is what I want to do, and I believe there's no rules in sewing. We're gonna figure it out. I have all of the pieces cut out and interfaced, all the main pieces cut out and interfaced, and I have the lining pieces as well. I actually used for the lining a black dress that my mom didn't want anymore, so it worked out, and it got put to a purpose, so that's nice. I think this is how they're supposed to go. It's very confusing. They actually don't do a good job of indicating what you sew together. So we'll see. I don't know how to make sense of these pattern pieces. They have no indication of where the underwire line is. They have no indication of where anything is. Like, I think that it should go like this, because that's sort of how the pattern looks. But this does not really look right, does it? So that's sort of a fail one for this pattern. After having done the Rose Cafe bustier and how easy and like simple and wonderful that she's made that pattern, I'm a little let down. For some reason, my interfacing seems to not want to be sticking to the fabric. So that is something that I am also dealing with. I'm also having a bit of a cursed day, so it could just be that. I have had to recut these bodice pieces twice because the interfacing wouldn't stick, and I put a hole in the original ones because I snagged the fabric with a pin, and it's just been a bit of a cursed project. So I'm excited to see what happens next. Yeah. It's a cup, but this cup is going to be way, way too big for me. Like, it's gonna have a hole, like this is with a bra on, and it's still got like this much to there. This is going to be so stinking cute. I'm really excited. Hopefully it fits. I'm a little concerned. I might, from now on, I might just baste the top together. Just so that we can see how she's gonna fit. Because that will be easier to take apart. Might have to take apart this bust and see what I can do about it too. So, okay. With the cups done as far as I can have them done, let's move on to the bodice pieces. This is definitely not for beginners, because the next step, she just has all the pieces together, so that's fun. Okay, let's start from the center. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put these together on the floor like I did the other bustier. I just ironed this on, and I've used this interfacing before and it's been fine and it's barely sticking. I have tried to iron the interfacing on several times to several different pieces. I've had to cut out new pieces because I've snagged the fabric with needles, and now my iron is broken, won't steam anymore because the button is broken. This project is cursed. I'm officially calling it cursed. Okay, I've got the center and the two sides on the center, and we're just gonna base this whole thing together at a 3/8 seam allowance. You guys, this is ridiculous. Like, oh no, I understand, never mind, I understand. And then this comes up the back. This will be the back strap. This, I just mock tried it on, and this cup top here sits like way up here. This pattern feels like it is not meant to actually fit somebody without some extreme modifications. And I have to be done for today because we are in the middle of a heat wave. It's hot, it's sweaty. I do not want to mess with this anymore today. I know I'm gonna have to take the cups completely apart. And sew them differently, because this cup piece needs to be like all the way down. So that's really frustrating. Okay, here's what I'm going to do as a last Hail Mary. I'm going to print out, put together, and cut the smallest pattern size. I cut out a size 40 because based on my measurement, my waist measurement, that's what I should have been. So I am now going to print the pattern based on my bust measurement. So I'm going to print and put together a 36. And I will try to use as much of this fabric that I already have interfaced as possible. And then we will try again. I slept on it. I let the rage calm down on the pattern because there was a lot of rage. Ooh, the things I said about this pattern. I let the rage calm down. I was ready to quit because I was having a curse day, you guys. I spilt food everywhere. My dinner, twice, I spilled it everywhere. Like, everything that could have gone wrong that day did. And it was very rough. I was not happy about it. So I almost gave up, but I didn't. And I printed out a new pattern to cut out. I do have some things to say about this pattern because full price, it is regular $30. They don't even have layers when you're printing the pattern, so you can't even just print your size. All of the patterns, all of the sizes in the pattern are all the same color, just different like line textures, which make it a little difficult to cut out your size because they kind of like blur together and you're like, I don't know which one is which. And like the instructions I've seen far better quality out of $12 patterns, for sure. However, I could not find one. I could not find a pattern that matched this prior to just recently, where a new pattern came out that's very similar that I will be trying. So I'm very excited about that. However, this is where we are at with this one. And I printed out a different size. I went by my bust instead of my waist because the waist was just way too big in that one. So I'm not sure, like, I don't know. Maybe just try going for your bust first if you're going to get this pattern and see how that works. So yes, I have the new pattern pieces cut out and the new fabric cut out and everything interfaced. So we are going to base the bodice together today and see how we are looking for fit. I'm going to start with the cups, and hopefully they fit. So I'm gonna like put them where they should be and hope that they're not sitting up here, because not that a neckline here is a big deal, but for me I either have to have a really high neckline or a really low neckline, because this part of my torso is really long. My torso in general is really long. My legs are like super short, which is really funny. Because when I sit down next to people that are taller than me, half the time I'm taller than them. And then I stand up and I'm like a foot shorter. So that's that. So I can't have a neckline here because it just accentuates the length of my torso here. So hopefully that's a little lower and a little bit more adjusted. Oh, I'm basting. I don't want a full, I'm basting. I am basting this bodice together first so we can see how she goes. This is fitting a little better. So I'm gonna go forward with the basting and hope that we have a bustier that fits at the end of the basting. I am not quite convinced we will, but I am now committed. 2 cups basted, now for the bustier, or the bodice. This thing. So far, this is actually looking much better. So I'm gonna sew the cups in and we're gonna see how she goes. It's actually looking like it might actually fit. The bottom of the waist here is a little narrow, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna sew with a little less seam allowance as I go down to make this just a little wider here, because it should probably go with here, but that's to be expected considering that the waist size, oh, my hair's a mess. We are in the middle of a heat wave. It is hot. I'm sweating. Please ignore the hair for the next day or so, because it's gonna get better, I promise. So I'm just gonna sew with a little less seam allowance down at the bottom so it's a little wider, but everything else seems to be actually fitting okay. So I'm gonna take it apart. I'm gonna take it all apart, or I'm gonna take the bust off and the bust sort of apart and then sew it all actually together. I also have the back to put on. Maybe I should do that first. I'm gonna base the back together and then I'm gonna pin it all together and we're gonna see how she looks. Okay, so I got it all pinned together and it looks like it's gonna work, but I'm gonna make a few modifications. I'm going to trim this centerpiece between the bust cups. I'm going to trim it just a little bit because it's very like square neckline right now and I want it just curved in just a bit so it's more like this. Actually, I might be able to do that with the lining, so I'm not going to change anything. I'm just gonna, this is how I'm going to make the lining so that it comes down a little bit. It is going to be a little bit small on my, to connect here. So I am gonna just the slightest amount, all the seams, just make sure they are all lined up on 1 centimeter and stitch them that way. And then yeah, towards the bottom, I'm gonna just make the seams less than 1 inch to adjust for that smaller waist, but everything else looks like it's going to fit. So this might actually work out. I'm still only about 60% sure that it's going to work out. So, but 60% is better than 0, which is where I was at. Okay, so I'm going to take the cuffs off first. I know it's really hard to see the seams on the black, which is maybe a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not sure. But I'm going to take the cuffs off first, and then I'm going to sew the front, this part. I'm going to sew this part together and make sure that it fits where I need it to fit. And then I'll sew the back pieces together properly, because this is just basted, so I have to take it all apart and re-sew it back together. And then I'll do the back piece to make sure all of that fits, and then I'll do the cuffs last, just to make sure that everything, every step of the way is going to work. Do that. Our heat wave finally broke here. It's so nice. So I just basted a side together so I could do a little very easy side fitting. And it's gonna fit, which is gonna be awesome. I'm so excited. I think I overshot the seam allowance a little bit when I was basting it together, because I think I made seam allowance just a little too big. I think that might have been part of the problem. So it looks like it's gonna fit now. I just have to take apart the basted seams so they're separated again. My only concern is that the straps are not going to be long enough because again I have this issue. So I may have to, I don't know, insert a piece in the straps. I don't know. We're gonna just hope for the best because I don't even know what the plan for the worst is right now. So, but it's gonna fit, and that is a win. That is a win in my books. If you're having a really hard time lining the bust cups to the this thing, it's a cup placement thing. Oh, I struggle so much with words. The trick that I found is to invert the cut. So you'd sew it all as if you were sewing a curve like this. So you turn everything inverted and sew it like this. And then you find that it just matches up a little nicer. Yeah. Oh. Oh, somebody needs his big baby loves. Look at Dad. Oh, you can't go anywhere. What? What are you doing? You good? Oh, thanks. Hey, you Brutus. Okay, so here's a fit test. It's gonna fit, however, I need to take in these bits just a little bit. I don't know if you can tell how bad they are. It's real bad. When I put it on, it's still doing this like weird sticky outy thing, but I think that that's going to be solved by the underwire forming the cup. So I'm not gonna worry too much about it until we get to that point. And other than that, the bodice is put together. So now I'm just gonna seam rip the pieces that I had stay stitched together for fitting purposes, and then I think it's putting the lining together. These were the bias tape. They actually had a pattern for the bias tape for each place that it needs to go. It just folds in like bias tape like this. It doesn't fold over the way that I usually do. You mind? Well, it doesn't fold over like the way that I usually do channeling. It would be way too small. So I think what we're supposed to do is just sew it on like this, on the inside, I think, over a seam. So it would be like this, over this inside seam, like this. And then we put the boning through. And I think that that's just going to create a little pocket on the front, like a little decorative boning on the front, and I think that's the way that they have us doing this. So I'm going to do that to all of them. They have each individual size, like these are for the front ones, and I have them all pinned, and yeah, so I'm just gonna trim the seam allowance, and then I'm gonna sew those on, and then we're gonna put some boning in. I'm going to fold all of the seams on this side to the middle, so the middle back, so they're all kind of even on either side, I guess. Now this back piece has some boning in it, and now I just have to do all of them. I don't know where we're after, yeah. We keep up with disaster. I'm thinking that they're after. All the boning in on the inside. I did have the cups on already because of the fiasco that we had earlier, and I was supposed to do the boning before I did the cups, but I was like, I am not taking them apart again. I cannot face that. So I just did it around the cups, and now we are going to sew in the channeling here for the underwire. Nope, not there. There. We're going to sew in the channeling here for the underwire. So I'm going to do that. I've got 2 more left, and we're going to do all underneath here, and then we're going to put the underwire in. We're not supposed to leave it in yet, but we're going to put it in and just see how the top looks. I got the channeling all put in. I like this way of doing channeling. It's kind of cool. And you still can't see this side. I'm so sorry, guys. My little sad heart loves black. If I could just make everything in black, I would. I really would. But yeah, I put the underwire in. They fit. It looks like a thing, a top. It's cute. It still might be too big in the boobs, but with a bra on, I think it's gonna be okay. So next they have us doing the zipper on the back. So they have us sewing the zipper like this. So it's completely taken apart, and you're just gonna, I'm gonna baste it in. Let me sew the sides together. And it looks like it should be, oh no, that's the wrong way, don't do that. That would be disastrous. And it looks like it needs to be a little bit higher than a little bit higher here, like not lined up, but higher for the seam allowance to go over, I think. I've never done an open zipper, so this is new territory. I like that I can sew them separately, so I'm going to sew this one like this on here, and then I'm going to do the same to the other one with my zipper foot, but I'm going to baste them. Oh, this is the lace that's going to go on the neckline. It's very pretty. It's got this beautiful little zone. Ah, I actually got it off Temu. Like a lot of lace that I have right now, I got on Temu because it's just, it's not that it's more affordable, because it really isn't price-wise much different than what you'd pay on Etsy for lace, which is where I would have to order it because nobody has lace in Canada. Then you have to ship it across the border, and then you have to pay duties on it, and shipping is like 30 bucks for like an envelope size of lace. Make it easy for me to buy lace locally, and then heck yes, I will do it. Believe me, I have looked. If you don't think my doom scrolling is Etsy finding fabric at like 2 a.m., you must be new here. It did! It lined up! It's a little off, just like the smidgen, little bit off. It's just the tiniest little bit off, but I'll take it. I will take that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew in the zipper completely because I think it looks, nope, that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna baste the sides to it, and I'm going to try it on to make sure it fits. That is what I'm gonna do next. It is sewn together. I'm gonna put the underwire in, and then I'm gonna try it on. Hey look, it actually fits well. I'm gonna have to sew the straps. I can't reach it. I'm gonna have to sew the straps together with like, it's still a little pointy here, but you know what, it's not terrible. It is what it is. We're just gonna let it be. The straps are gonna have to be sewn like with 0 seam allowance because they are really short, but it fits and the zipper's in and we can move on. I'm so excited. Let's do it. Oops, I missed the part in the instructions about sewing the sides together, so I'm gonna do that now. And then I'm gonna sew in the zipper completely as well because that's exactly where I want it. Okay, so I have everything all sewn together. Look how nice it looks on this side. I have everything all sewn together, and then we just need to sew together the straps here. I'm gonna make the smallest little seam allowance as possible because again, this part of me is really long and things just don't fit that way often. And then we have to sew the whole lining together exactly like we did here. So, shoulder seams and then lining. Okay, next we're gonna sew the zipper seams together, and I was so confused because they don't very clearly show you or tell you what you're doing. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna have, this is the zipper, so this is the zipper on the outside. Lay this flat, and then you're gonna sew the lining here so that when you flip it out, this is what's on the outside. That makes so much more sense. Okay, there. Lining's sewn in, and then when you turn it, the zipper will be on the outside of the lining. Oh, that makes so much more sense. I was looking at it, I'm like, but they told me to put it in a zipper, and now they're telling me to match up seams and how to, what is happening? And then my brain just went, here's the answer, ta-da! And I was like, yay, because that never happened. So that was special after the cursed project this has been. I got the boning pieces in, and even though I swear that I double checked that I was sewing it the right way, I sewed the lining the wrong way so that it was faced together with the back and not the front. So the seams will be in the lining, so I have to take that out and redo it. I have a little extra for some reason in the lining, so I'm just going to cut the lining out and then resew it, because it's not seam ripping at all. There, lining's in like that. Oh, I didn't mess it up again, that's something. And now, could you imagine if I'd gotten it twisted? Oh, that would be the project. Okay, I'm gonna start in the middle and I'm just gonna line up all the seams and trim all of these threads. Oh my goodness, they're everywhere. Starting with the middle here, and then just pin them all with the seam allowances facing inward. I'm going to do the neckline first and then sort of pull it out a little bit and see if I had done it nicely. I have it all flipped in and ironed. I tried it on. I'm still not happy with the bust, but it's gonna have to just be what it is. It makes me look like I have less boobs than I have, which I didn't know that was possible, but here we are. So the next thing is that we have to fold in the bottom and just top stitch it together. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start on this side, and then I'm just gonna work my way down, top stitching, and fold it as I go because I ran out of clips. Okay, the top part is done. It's all hemmed on the bottom here. I am not its biggest fan. It's a little nipply out here, but it looks cute. It flattens my boobs weird. Like here, this sort of flattens stuff weird. It's definitely like no boobs I've ever seen though. I don't know how it's possible. Here's the back. I love the back. The back is so cute. So next is the sleeves. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do the sleeves because I want that gather, and I have some white elastic. What I think I'm gonna do is sew like a bit together to create like a casing and then sew the elastic down, but I'm not sure. I might be overthinking. I don't think it looks as bad from this angle as it does from like this angle because I've got like weird things here, but I think it looks okay. Not my favorite pattern. Still not quite happy with it and how it looks, but it could have been worse. Could have been worse. So tomorrow we'll get started on the sleeves and then we'll be done. I'm so excited for the sleeves. I'm so excited to work with chiffon. I've never worked with chiffon before. So that should be fun. It is the next day and we are going to move on to the sleeves. However, I forgot a very important part. The lace trim. So we're gonna trim the lace. I gotta figure out, I don't think it comes all the way up. I think it just, I just went back to look at the photo to see where I need to put the white trim. And as I'm looking at this, I realized that there are no straps on the photo that I'm trying to do. I don't know where I got in my head that there were straps or that there needed to be straps. There's a ton of patterns that are very similar to this. Why did I think there were straps? Yeah, no straps, but this one's gonna have straps, and that's what we're doing, and that's where we're at. So I'm gonna take the trim and only put it on the bodice pieces to here, and we're just going to sew almost like a top stitch, just it on the inside like this, and I think that that is going to look so stinking cute. Oh yeah, look at that. That's so cute. It's really a shame that this pattern just wasn't as nice as I hoped it would be. It's really cute. I love that. I think it's so adorable. There is a boning page at the very end where it's like, now insert your boning. And I was like, I don't know what that means. I've already done it. you were supposed to wait until you'd sewn the top and then put in the boning. That makes sense. That makes so much more sense than what I did. Because I had to trim a bunch and then very scarily burn it, almost lit the top on fire. It's fine. Everything's fine. I shouldn't be allowed fire, but everything else is fine. I have the chiffon marked in blue. I'm not even sure if that shows up. Where I want the elastic to be, and I just hope that I can make it get there going straight down. What I should do is mark it. But I don't know how, and I don't want to use pins. It's kind of chiffon. I'm gonna have to use pins. I completely forgot how to do anything. My brain fog is really hindering a lot of my processes. Things are just really foggy. So I'm gonna do a gathering stitch, and then I'm gonna sew the elastic over top of the gathering stitch. Duh. So I'm gonna go mark those. I have to have it a little higher because it was like in between the two lengths that I needed. So I'm gonna go measure that and we'll be back. I have one elastic in. It looks a little blue just because that's the chalk that I used, but it's actually like really cute looking. Oh no, it's staticky though. I think it's gonna be at the perfect height I can adjust it to. And then this will be just at wrist length like this. I need to take just a little bit a little bit bigger than wrist length on both sides. And then we'll do the bottom ones as well. I now have both of the elastics in the sleeve. Now I'm just gonna fold them together and sew them, and then I'm gonna attach them, and we're gonna see how it looks before I do the other one. Okay, one sleeve is finished. I think it's gonna look really cute. Now to just do the final sleeve and then we're done. Okay. And it is done. Oh my goodness. Time to put it on. Here's the finished top. This project was cursed right to the end. I just finished filming the scene shots for this top, and I had to cut a pin out of it that somehow I sewed into it. Cursed. It was cursed. Absolutely the worst project I've ever had to do. It was exhausting. I'm so glad it's done. And it's cute. It's cute, but this should have been, the elastic maybe should have dipped a bit lower. I love the bottom of the sleeves. This is pretty. It makes my shoulders look a little broader, which I don't like, especially like in the back here. The way that it comes down. I hate how the sleeves fit here. I think that might be the elastic though. I don't know. It's cute, but I hate it. I absolutely do hate it. Which, I mean, we all have one, right? We all have projects that we've done that we're like, I'm sure that there is somebody out there who would very much love this top and will probably give it a very good and loving home at some point in the future. It's definitely a rough project. I've got threads everywhere. Like, you can tell that it was a rough project. But it's over. And now we can move on to other stuff. And it's cute. It is. It's cute. And the boobs sort of fix themselves a little bit. They still flatten weird. So they push down here and push out underneath, which is the weirdest boob shape ever. It's just, I don't know that I would be buying any more patterns from this company. I don't know that I'd, with my experience on this one, and this obviously isn't all their patterns, but I'm not super happy with the shape and the end result. But that's okay. I have some more bustiers coming up in the future, and I'm very excited to get to them. And yeah, let me know what you think. Do you hate it? Do you love it? What would you change about? What would you do differently? I'd love to hear all of your suggestions in the comments. And as always, please share anything you are making. I have my Instagram in the description. I would love to see what you guys are making, what you guys are excited about. And yeah, love you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. I keep on falling for you.